To celebrate the 20th anniversary and the 20th season of today's Homeowner, I'm doing a series of videos to answer a lot of questions I've been asked over the years about my background, where I was born, how I made it into the national TV scene, and that type of thing. So thought we would do a series of videos of varying lengths. So hope you'll be able to stay tuned with us because we'll be posting these videos all the time. But to kind of give you a brief history, I guess, or a brief story about my background. I was born in a small town down in the panhandle of Florida called Marianna. And Marianna is just north of Panama City, 50 or 60 miles. And yeah, I spent a little time in Panama City and Panama City Beach when I was growing up, and had a great time in the small town and have some wonderful, wonderful friends there that I get to see from time to time. And certainly all of my friends and family from my hometown have supported everything that I've done over the years. And you know, I moved through and grew up in that environment, and it was a great family life. And my father really showed me a lot of things about repairing things around the house, and also he loved building little pieces of furniture, even though he was a school teacher and school administrator. But I really kind of got the bug to the point that I had to save some money to buy my first power tool. I was only 9 years old. I was in the 3rd grade. And of course, back then you had the old Sears and Roebuck catalogs that you would look through. And I found this little jigsaw, or what they called Sabre Saw, a lot then. And I decided I want to buy one. Well, the only way I can make money is to sweep this very long concrete driveway. Now, this was back before the leaf blowers and all the fancy things we have now for that. And every time I would sweep that with the old broom, I would get a quarter. Well, with all the squirrels we had in the yard and all, it needed it quite a bit. So I had me a little cup up on my nightstand, and I would put that money in, any little thing that I could do. And it took me a while of sweeping to get to my $11.41 that I needed. And I took that money, gave it to my mom, had the page out of Sears catalog, and said, I want to buy this saw. Well, I'm even surprised still today that they allowed me to buy this pretty aggressive saw, but I can remember waiting every day at the mailbox for my little saw to come in, and it finally came in. Matter of fact, it's right there on my wall of my little shop that I have here that we do a fair amount of taping in. Very symbolic to me that that was a start for me. I used that saw for a long, long time, and I didn't know what you're supposed to use a saber saw or a jigsaw for. I mean, I made baseball bats. That didn't work out too well. I made all kinds of like little plaques out of a piece of paneling. I would cut these little heart-shaped plaques, you know, and then I would take my little wood burning tool and write in there, world's best mom, world's best dad, that kind of thing. Found some of those recently and some stuff I was going through of my late mom and dad's place. And pretty cool to see those things that must have meant a lot to them, for them to hold on to them for all those many years. So anyway, I moved along and we got through high school, and as soon as I graduated from high school, I moved to where I live now in Mobile, Alabama, to go to school at the University of South Alabama. One thing I realized that was kind of unusual for me and a little bit of a surprise is that, you know, when you live in a small town, you never have to learn to meet anybody. You grow up with them from kindergarten all the way through 12th grade, so you're not really having to, let's say, learn the skills of meeting people. So when I moved here, the only person I knew in this town was my older brother, Bill. And of course, he had a few friends that he introduced me to here and there. But when I went to school, when I went to the University of South Alabama, it was a much smaller school than it is these days. And it was a kind of a cliquish kind of a thing, because a lot of the people there had gone to high school around the Mobile area. And I didn't know anybody. So it took me a while to figure out how to meet people, how to do things here and there. And it's worked out pretty well. I learned that and been able to create or develop a wonderful group of friends here. And of course, I'm raising my family here. But how did I make it from going to school intending to be a business, you know, major? And I'll tell you about in the next video how I was able to start my business when I was 21 years old.